What's going on, beautiful people? Thank you for tuning in once again. It's a snowstorm today, last night, and will continue on to be like that for the rest of the day. But there's a bit of quietness in between the storm right now, so I thought, you know what? I'll get out and make some videos. So in this video, we're gonna continue the series of the 7 chakras, the 7 energy systems in this character that you're in, right? And how to balance them to live a happy, fulfilling life. We've talked earlier about the root chakra. We've talked about the sex chakra / sacral. We've talked about the solar plexus, which is your I am, your power, your sense in the world. And those 3 are what is known as earthly chakras, right? I just find that term funny, chakra. They're earthly, they're connected with earth, right? But as we go up the heavens, as we go up the energy centers in your video game character, we get into more transcendent type chakras. And now the heart is the connector between your earthly self, your animal self, and your higher self. So you have, just to go over it quickly, you have the 4th one is the heart chakra, the 5th one is the throat chakra, 6th one is the third eye, 7th one is the crown. And we'll talk about each one individually, but just keep in mind those 3 up here, throat, third eye, and crown, are your heavenly chakras, your transcendent chakras, your higher self chakras. The one at the bottom, your solar plexus, your place in the world, your sex and sacral, ability to experience pleasure, and your root are earthly, are your animal self. And the heart, why the heart is so special, because the heart connects both, connects your higher self with your animal self. And if you have a really balanced, healthy heart chakra in your character, in this video game, then you're gonna have a good time, and people are gonna love you, and you're gonna love people, and you're gonna have a pretty kick-ass time in the video game. So first thing first, you know, you guys obviously heard people say, open your heart, open your heart, open your heart, right? It's the secret. It's the secret to all things, right? As always, there are people with understimulated chakras, or, you know, in this case, heart, and there's people that are going to have overstimulation of the heart chakra, and that's going to cause imbalance, either or. First of all, let's talk about the vast majority of the people. Their heart chakra is understimulated. They're not given enough love. They're not getting enough love. And a lot of times we get blocked in this area because of feelings of shame, feelings of guilt, and feelings of resentment, right? This is why they say forgiveness gives you this freeing feeling, right? If you're resentful to your parents, or if you're resentful to your ex, or if you're resentful to people who you say have hurt you in the past, then you are gonna have a bad time in this game, because you're gonna be closed off. Your heart chakra is gonna be closed off. You're gonna just close it off. You're not going to open it up. You're not gonna open yourself up for new relationships, for new opportunities, for new ways to share intimacy with someone else. And that is gonna come down to your ability to forgive and let go of resentment to absolutely anybody that you think have hurt you, whether they actually have hurt you, or whether you, snow is slippery, or whether you perceive them to have hurt you. Forgiveness is absolutely liberating. Forgiveness and letting go and just forgiving the person is liberating to you, right? So if somebody that has hurt you is already dead, you forgive them. You make this agreement with yourself. You go into deep meditation and you say, I forgive this person and I love them in the moment. And I know that, you know, their best self probably wouldn't have done this or that. But you forgive them for you, not for them, right? Because they're gonna have to deal with their own shit. You forgive them for you because you want to move on, because you want to be able to love other people, you want to open up your heart, you want to share yourself with the rest of humanity. And it's such a beautiful, wonderful feeling. This feeling of connection, this feeling of love, because we're all love at the end of the day. So this is basically one way to I'm just gonna pause for a second here because I want to play with this dog and then we'll keep going. Sorry guys, I just had a really nice conversation with my man Steve. Just met him now. So anyway, as I was saying, resentment, feelings of resentment, feelings of wanting to take vengeance on the other person. Let go of all of that. If you want to have a healthy heart center, if you want to have love come in abundance to you, right? I'll quote Rumi, one of my favorite quotes. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to find all the barriers that you've built against it within you. So that is, I think, where most people are stuck. They're stuck in the harbor of sorrows. They're stuck in some past situation that they just cannot let go of. They can't forgive that person for telling them you're a piece of shit. They just cannot get over that person telling them you're a piece of shit. They just cannot get over it. They cannot get over it. And they want to take vengeance, and they spend their entire lives. How many women out there are spending their entire lives blaming men for everything? And how many men out there are spending their entire lives blaming women for everything and saying all women are crazy psychos and they're all manipulative, blah, blah, blah. How many women out there are saying, oh, all men are pieces of shit. They're all assholes. They're all the same. It's all because people have experienced something not so good in the past, and now they've closed off their heart and they're not allowing love to flow in and out of it anymore. And that is sad because they're not experiencing life fully. So forgiveness and letting go of resentment is probably the best step for you to open up that heart center. Now, if you're someone like Jesus, it's pretty slippery here, I gotta watch out. If you're someone like Jesus, then your heart chakra might have been overstimulated and you're just loving everyone, which is always the right thing to do, but you're kind of overdoing it, and as a result, the Romans have crucified you. Right now, that is beautiful, This is why the story of Jesus is so powerful and touching. I mean, he is someone who preached unconditional love to absolutely everyone, and as a result, he got crucified for it. And he had the right message. He had the message that all people who go to that place come back and say, we're all love, we're all made of love, everything is love, and let's all just love one another, which is true, which is 100% true. But you could be overstimulated in that you start to lose your grounding. That's all it is, right? If you can find it within you to sort of love everyone, but don't lose your grounding, right? Don't lose your grounding. Because then you could get too emotionally attached. This is the dark side of it, overstimulation of the heart chakra. And by no means was Jesus' heart chakra overstimulated. I think Jesus was Jesus. He was all about love, and he had a message, and he delivered his message, and his time was up, and he was crucified, right? So, terrible example. But what happens if your heart chakra is overstimulated, and you could start to get emotionally attached? You can start to attach love to people, which is never healthy. Because remember, the source of love is infinite, abundant. You are love. You cannot escape from love. You cannot escape from love, period. You just can't fucking do that. You cannot do that. You cannot escape your own nature, right? Underneath it all, your awareness is loving awareness. So you can't escape that. But what happens if this is overstimulated and it can turn negative, you start to get emotionally attached to people. So now you crave for someone's love. You know, if they take away that love, you feel miserable, you feel like shit, you feel like you're lonely, you're sad, you're miserable. You just, all triggers fire up in your system, and your character just goes like, fuck, like, I'm never gonna be loved again. Nobody loves me. I'm sad, I'm lonely, I'm miserable, I'm a piece of shit, or a stream of piss, however you wanna describe it. But understand, and this is, you want to be balanced, understand that you cannot escape love, because you are love. And by spending time in nature and getting to know yourself, you will realize that from there on you can go ahead to give love, to be a conduit for love. So you're not out there to get love from people, you're out there to give love to people, because you've connected to the source and you have so much of it coming here that you can't help but give it out there, because it's too much and the cup is going to overflow. It has to overflow. So fill up your cup with love and let that just overflow into the world. And one of the best ways to do that is to come to nature, right? If you want to open up the heart chakra and balance it, come to nature. Start to go to... I have to be in nature every single day. And I don't just come here for a little bit. I spend a good 2-3 hours. And it's usually one of the first things I do in the morning after my morning routine. It opens up your heart, makes you feel love, makes you feel appreciation, makes you feel grounded, because not only are you accessing all this love in the trees and in the skies and the clouds and the oxygen in the air, you're also grounding yourself. This is Earth. I am here. This is my natural habitat. So it's just a perfect mix of opening up your heart to the source of love, but also grounding you, you know? Because I mean, if you're spending a lot of time here, you're gonna start to question, you know, how did we live as humans before? You know, and you're gonna be like, oh, you know, we did this, we hunted, we gathered. So, you know, it was really interesting. You know, you would start to say, oh, I'm grounded, I'm here, I'm on Earth. And you start to think like, you know, if you think about money, you say, well, the money that we've been dealing with for the last, I don't know how many thousand years, comes from trees. We just created from trees. In other words, everything is here, right? So this grounds you, but gives you love. You see? So anyway, to finish off this rant, oh, it's getting windy, man. To finish off this rant, to open up your heart chakra, forgive all of those who have hurt you in the past. Love them in the present moment, because this is just the way it is. If you want to move forward and you want to have a happy life and you want love to flow in and out of you, you got to forgive and let go. So the faster you can do that, the better. And it's easier said than done. Forgiveness is one of those things we really got to work on a lot. But once we do, you open up the heart, then it's a beautiful feeling, because you become this conduit for love. You become this giver of love. And the other thing, come to nature. Ground yourself here, but also open up yourself to connect to the source of love, which is right here in Mother Nature. And it doesn't matter where you live. If you live in like the Middle East, then go to the desert, right? If you live in like Saudi Arabia or something, go to the desert. God is there, love is there, and it will ground you. You will know your ancestors lived here. You will know they lived off the land. And they were grounded, but they were connected to the source of love. If you're here like me in Canada, go to the woodlands. It will connect you to the source of love, this infinite source of love that is you, because God is love. And it will really connect you to it, and you will feel this sense of open-heartedness, oneness, and you start to wish everybody the best in their lives, and you start to really forgive and let go. And yeah, I think this is the greatest healer, Mother Nature. That's my all over the place rant about the heart chakra. Check out my free book, 5 Powerful Habits to Dominate Life in All Areas. Leave me something in the comments. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, or you're gonna sleep with the fishes.